Hello guys, so before we start the video, I'm really sorry about last video sounding like I was literally like glitching to the point that I'm able to like go into like the second dimension. I'm really sorry about that. I seriously don't know. I seriously don't know what happened to the recording. I tried everything. I tried re-recording, then I tried seriously everything. So, maybe actually let I'll just try and deal with it. I'm really sorry about like guys. I'm really sorry that like my literal videos sound like I'm literally dying. So yeah, I seriously don't know what to do. So yeah. Anyway, let's start out the video well proper. So yeah. Hello guys. I am back from another review and today we talk about what deku was in Fate Grand Order. So, in the last video, Deku, well, after getting ready for, well, class, and after telling them that there's going to be like a sports festival very soon, like a few more weeks, well, Izuku, after being told to basically lock all of the, like, lock all of like the classrooms after class, or at least after they leave, Izuku was, well, let's just say attacked by the brand new representative for the rider class, or what I usually just call him Ivan because, well, he mostly used like the powers of like Ivan the Terrible, which is Izuku's going to be having as his brand new servant, or at least one of them, anyway. So, after a bit of like a struggle and after like Ivan slash the brand new representative for the rider class summoned out the Krishniki, which are basically like, well, if you get like super soul like give super soldier serum to like the FBI or something, like a more evil version of the FBI. Yeah. After doing that, Izuku defeats him, and it turns out that he was, well, a old participant of the Holy Grail War, specifically the Third Holy Grail War. So, after he relinquished his, crest, he leaves and never returns. Specifically, he specifically said that he had like a heart disease, so yeah, he's probably dead. Anyway, so after that, well, there was also a dent in like the school. Specifically, there was like a huge like chunk of like the classroom basically ripped off. So they had to like call in like construction workers to fix it. So they were also told that they're gonna be having dorms. And Izuku was told by, well, Nezu that he can stay in one of the dorms. So Izuku, after getting there and also, well, packing all of his things, well, Izuku sits on the bed until he heard the crackles of thunder and sees a brand new summoning circle. And Zuku just basically said this to himself: alright, here we go again. So, this is basically what happened last time. So, let's talk about what happens next. Izuku sees a kid, and this kid seems to have red hair and seems to be wearing some, well, attire similar to well, the Roman Empire back in the day. He also wielded a sword and riding a black horse. The other person that's also there, which are, well, three more three more servants. One of them was, well, wearing some sort of blindfold. But Izuku recognizes her from the Fifth Holy Grail War. Izuku knows this because, well, his parents told him about the Fifth Holy Grail War and it was legendary. Saying that there was, well, one person that actually defeated Gilgamesh. After telling that to, well, actually, Izuku also told that story to, like, well, to the rest of his, like, servants. Except ones because they recently been summoned, to the dismay of like Gilgamesh because he wants to forget that. Anyway, this servant had like a blindfold and seems to be wielding some sort of chain weapon. It's basically like a mix of a metal stake with like a chain that's able to be thrown and then pulled back. She seems to be riding a Pegasus. The next one was a well, she looks like a saint. She looks like a nun and wielded a staff with the cross on it. The Christian cross, by the way. And finally, we have is this like hulking beast of a man. This man had like a a staff, a golden staff with like this blue, almost floating crystal on it. As he has several elements taken to well, taken from like an elephant, or at least what Izuku thinks, because he definitely has tusks and well, his feet definitely look like elephant feet. As the first person says this, I am Alexander. Nice to meet you. As the other girl, specifically the blindfold, says this, the name's Medusa. Nice to meet you. The girl that looks like she's a saint, well, the girl that says that she's a saint, I meant, says this, I am Saint Martha. It's nice to meet you. She bows down as the final one says his name, or at least his true name. He says this, my name is Ivan the Terrible, the so-called king of not Rome, I meant Russia. So, where is this place? It's definitely not Russia. As Medusa says this is definitely not Rome. It's definitely not the shapeless isle. As Alexander says this, haha, it seems to be another land to be conquered. So, I'm guessing that you're my friends, I guess? As Medusa says this, so you're another Roman hero then. As Izuku tells them to stop fighting, as they say this, right, master. Izuku says this, alright, go into the portal. As they say this, where does it take us? Izuku says this, oh, it will take you to your rooms. They're going to be specialized depending on like your personality and your taste. So, yeah, it's basically a whatever room. So, just go inside and you'll be meted with my other servants. So, just don't fight, okay? Good. So, after they get in, Ivan had trouble like getting in because he's massive. He's basically like the Hulk with ice powers. So, yeah, after a few hours of like trying to get him in, well, after like using some like butter to basically slip him in, well, he goes into the portal and Izuku closes it. As Izuku says this, dang, that was hard. Oh well, at least I got a workout, or at least just one of my arms. So, Izuku decides to try and upgrade his arm, specifically his like bionic arm, this one. So, Izuku goes into one of the rooms that Izuku got in for his dorm. Izuku starts tweaking some parts, specifically about his arm. Izuku wanted to add more spikes because Izuku thinks spikes are cool. So, after a bit of tweaking, Izuku finished it, and now Izuku's able to create, massive punches. Like, Izuku's able to basically destroy a whole mountain with just one punch. Basically. So, after Izuku does that, Izuku says this. Much better. Guess I'll be going to sleep then. So, after Izuku goes, it's the next day where Izuku sees the rest of his class. Not classmates, I meant students. Because if you don't know, a assistant teacher for UA because well Izuku needs to pay. Like seriously, Izuku wants to earn it by himself. So yeah. So wait for a second. So after Izuku wakes up, Izuku sees one of his students. And this student is specifically wait for a second is Kendo. As Kendo says this, "Oh, you made it, Izuku." As Izuku says this, yeah, not bad of a sleep. That bed felt amazing." As she says this, "Yeah, I agree." As Ibara says this, "Oh, hello, teacher." As Izuku says this, "So," as she says this, "Oh, they're currently outside getting dinner." Izuku says this, "Wait, dinner?" As she says this, "Yeah, you were basically sleeping all night. Like, all morning, I meant." As he says this, "Wait, oh, oh morning? God." Ugh. Anyway, I'm just gonna be going out for dinner as well. Ugh. Izuku realized that he was nothing, like, he was wearing, well, just his, well, jeans and jacket. Nothing, like, literally nothing under that, well, jacket. As both Ibarra and Kendo started nosebleeding, as they say this, yeah, teacher. This, yeah, uh, damn, I didn't know that he was that ripped. And also all those scars. As Izuku realized this, as Izuku says this, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ibarra and Kendo." As Kendo says this, don't worry. I mean, they're interesting. By the way, what is that? What are these like burn scars? She starts feeling it, like literally just touching it. As Izuku says this, "Ugh, sorry, but you can't touch those. They're just constant reminders." As she says this, constant reminders. I meant constant reminders. I meant Izuku says this. "Yeah, I just want to forget those days." Anyway, you should start well going out for dinner. I'll just be going off to dinner as well. So Izuku goes to like like a Chinese restaurant, like a Chinese restaurant that you would probably see in like New York or something. Just imagine those. Yeah. Izuku starts getting all of these well foods and snacks for his servants. Izuku gets some for himself, which is basically just like a well mostly what do you call them? Shumai and fried rice. Like no, don't look at me weirdly, but I actually like shumai. I specifically like shumai that are deep fried. Don't judge me because you probably had those weird cravings as well. Shumai that are basically deep fried are my favorites because the wrapper just basically crackles and super crunchy. Just don't judge me, okay? Anyway, so after Izuku gets all of that, Izuku goes back to the dorm room and starts going into well the pocket dimension or the mini Chaldea as they started eating it, like eating all of the food that Izuku brought. As wait for a second. As Gilgamesh says this, it feels delicious. I never tasted anything like this. By the way, what is this restaurant that you call it? A Shao what? Izuku says this. Anyway, oh, Ivan, I wanted to ask you something. As Ivan is trying to like use chopsticks, he says this. "What is it, master?" As Izuku says this. "Can you summon your Prishniki?" As he says this. "Sure." So, after summoning three Prishniki, these Prishniki were told by Izuku to try well, to try finding the three other participants of the Holy Grail War. I meant Holy Grail War. God, I don't know why do I always have like these weird like speech impediments sometimes. I seriously don't know why. Anyway, these specific well representatives are, wait for a second, are the Berserker class, Caster, and Saber. Izuku already knows about the Saber class because Izuku used to be best friends with him. But Izuku doesn't know about the Caster and Berserker class. Izuku is basically thinking that the Berserker class is a fight because, well, he's really powerful but pretty weak against the other servants. Because just like in the game, he's super effective on other servants, specifically like the seven main servants, including, well, Berserker. But he's also weak to other servants, specifically like the seven main ones. But also, I think he's also weak against foreigners. I think I can't remember because, well, I never encountered a foreigner in the game yet. But I do have a foreigner type servant at my disposal in the game, specifically it's mysterious heroine X, which I never really used because, well, I'm just lazy. Anyway, wait for a second. So, after telling these, well, three Aprishniki to basically try and find, well, the three other, well, representatives or participants of the Holy Grail War, Izuku creates a portal as they started coming out, and they're basically on top of the roof of the dorms. So, when they come out of there, we're going to be in the perspective of these, three Aprishniki, which I'm just gonna be calling them Dave, Dave, and Dave. Not confusing. Let's just. Uh, th- this is just a great idea that I just made. Just, just, just hear me out, okay? So, we go into the perspective of these three Aprishniki, which I call Dave, Dave, and Dave. So, let's begin. Dave, Dave, and Dave say this. Wait. So, we're gonna be finding these Berserker, Caster, and Saber representatives. As Dave says this. Yeah. Seriously. I mean, Master is interesting, but do we seriously have to do it? As Dave says this. Hey, don't you dare think of that. After all, Master Ivan, King Ivan, is there his uh I I don't even get it. I don't have any idea about it. As Dave says this. Alright, you can shut up, Dave. Anyway, let's start going off. So, you started going off to, well, to try and find the Berserker and Caster representatives. Well, not the Saber class yet. Because they probably need to defeat the Berserker first. Or at least check him out for now. While they were talking, by the way, well, cameras, or specifically CCTV cameras, were basically watching them. They also recorded what they said. So, yeah, that will be an interesting plot point very soon. So, yeah, let's continue on. So, Dave, and the three other Daves, I meant the two other Daves, started going around the city looking for the Berserker and Caster representatives. So, while they were looking around, they see several sites, specifically mostly, well, arcades, restaurants, even malls and shops. Dave said this, the other one, the, um, actually, they basically just look the same. So, let's just say Dave 1, Dave 2, and Dave 3. Okay, good. So, Dave 1 says this. Whoa. I actually want to go in there, as he points to like a arcade, as Dave 2 says this. No, we should listen to our boss and start going around and try to find this berserker and caster representative. As Dave 3 says this, I agree. The faster we do it, the more we can, well, probably go in there. As he says this, I guess you're right, Dave 2 and Dave 3. So, after they started going off to a different area, which was a back alley, they find mostly trash. Like, seriously, it smelled so bad. Even though the Pershniki don't even smell, they can definitely smell something, I guess, or they can feel something. As Dave 1 says this. Back then, it was horrible, but here, it's not even a comparison. It's more like a landslide. This place is dirty. Dave 2 says this. Yeah, I agree. Damn. I thought Russia back then was like trashy, but this is just disgusting. So, Dave 3 says this. Hey, Dave 1, Dave 2, I think I see something. So, they lean or at least hide in like a dumpster as they see something interesting. They see two people, like two people eating, specifically a girl and a boy. This girl seems to be part of this. As he says this, I'm not allowing you to go into this Holy Grail war because you're my daughter. I just want to protect you. Just let me do it. As she says this, I'm old enough to try and fight this thing. Dad, can you at least just acknowledge me as like just acknowledge me as a mage? As he says this. No. Besides, your your condition. As she says this. I don't even care about the curse. If I win, I could I could er, I could erase that stupid curse. I can live out my life like a normal girl. Just just let me do it. As her father said this. No, I'm not allowing you to be, well, this ignorant. I suppose that you are right, I guess, but you're still my little girl. I just don't want you to get attacked or get hurt. As Dave 1 says this, dang, I never seen anything like it. As Dave 2 accidentally steps on a can, which caused a big sound, like a a bit loud, but not to the point that it basically alerts everybody, but just enough to basically get the attention of these specific people, the girl and the boy. As the father said this, who is there? If it's a cat, then guess I'll have to kill you. As Dave once said this, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. As Dave 2 says this, alright, let's just move out. So, they started going up, like above them is basically like a what do you call that? A fire escape. So they started climbing it as, well, the father said this. Hooligans. So he starts transforming into his demi-servant form, which gives him a blade, and his hair becomes longer and much more untamed. He gains like a boar head upon like his shoulder as like a shoulder pad. And he also had, well, wait for a second. He also had red glowing eyes. As Dave 1, Dave 2, and Dave 3 started escaping, they, well, get caught off by, well, by the father. Alright. Wielding his sword, his gigantic broadsword, he says this. Who sent you? As Dave 1 said this, are you the representative for the berserker class? As he says this, well, I guess you're right. Yes, you have to die. Yu starts charging towards him. As well, Dave 1 doesn't he doesn't survive. He gets ripped apart instantly. As Dave 2 and 3 started escaping, they get cut off by the daughter, which she becomes the caster class representative. She starts creating these like wand like constructs, almost looking like a magical girl. That will be a hint for what Izuku's servants will be. She also wielded a large, scissors, like really large scissors, as she cuts up Dave 2 and 3, instantly killing them. As the daughter said this, "See, father, I'm that strong. I don't want to be protected. See?" As the father said this, "You're too young for this. Just to me." As he transforms back, as he says this, "Guess we should rest now." As the girl said this, "Father," as he says this, "Shut up. You're my daughter. You should start acting like it. So, go back into your room and go to sleep. I'll be getting the Holy Grail for you, okay?" So, after doing that, well, these two people started going back into their house. So, Izuku was watching them with one of his, um, mystic codes. Specifically, like a bird-like creature or bird-like robot. Even though it sounds like a familiar, it's not really a familiar because it doesn't have a soul. Izuku's basically watching it on like a tablet or a cell phone. So when Izuku saw them, Izuku says this, "Good." As Ivan says this, "So you sacrificed three of my most, well, not really good Prishniki for that, right, master?" As Izuku says this, "Yep. So I'm guessing that these two are the representatives for the, well, Berserker and Caster class." As Ivan says this, "I agree. So, can't wait to try fight them." As Gilgamesh says this, "Yes, I will show you that I'm the better one than all of you, well, mongrels." As all of them started, wailing on, Gilgamesh. But thankfully, Enkidu, protected them, thankfully. As Altera, or Ultria, or whatever you want to call her, I'm not going to rant on, Type Moon and how they, decide to, name Ultria or Altera or whatever you want to call her, Alteria, or whatever you want to call her. I'm not going to rant because it's going to be a long enough video. So let's just know, okay? Ultria Pendragon says this. "Alright, all of you start behaving. Even though I'm not the boss," actually more like John Alter and John the Ark is more like the, boss here because they're technically the oldest out of all of us. But I'm still the king of the knights. King Arthur. Even though I look like a girl, I'm still King Arthur. So, you better start listening. Got it?" As all of them agree. As Joan the Ark says this, feels like we're a big family, right?" As, Jolter says this, whatever." As Henshin says this, "Alright, guess I'll be sleeping." As Sherlock says this, "I agree. Sleeping now. Bye." Everybody starts going into their rooms, including Ivan, which he sees his room. His room is adorned with, Well, like some nice wallpaper and a lovely little piano. As he says this, feels like home. So, he goes onto the bedroom. I'm at the bed and goes to sleep. Goose says this. Yeah, I should sleep as well. Ugh. So, Izuku opens up well, a portal as he gets out. As Izuku goes onto his bed, Izuku says this. Uh, Tomorrow, I'm going to defeat the caster and Berserker class representatives. Now, this will be interesting. Izuku clenches his fist. Izuku says this. I will defeat them and gain my revenge. I will get my parents back. No matter what. No matter if it costs me my life. I only want my parents to be back with me for just a second or whatever. I just want my parents, no matter what. So, I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe so you can support me and also see videos early. Well, like seriously early when they basically release. So, yeah. So, hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.